Edwards Professor of Political Science Brian Smith joins us now for a deeper look. First, before we get into that, your reaction to the U.S. Supreme Court decision allowing Donald Trump to be on the ballot.
That wasn't a big surprise. The court wasn't in a position to take the right to vote away from the voters themselves, and it also prevents Republican states from then turning the tables on Biden and start removing him. So it's going to be up to the voters in November.
Okay. And so back to the congressional and legislative races. Why aren't they competitive this year?
There's a lot of incumbents running, and incumbents are difficult to beat in a primary. Also, we don't have a lot of competitively drawn districts, such that districts favor either Democrats or Republicans. So we're not seeing a lot of turnout and a lot of competitive races simply because of who's running and the way the districts are drawn.
So does that mean a lot of those races will be determined tomorrow?
A lot of races will be determined tomorrow because incumbents are running unopposed or against token opposition. And then when we go to the fall, the other party may only run somebody who's running for the sake of running or not a strong candidate. So it's so important, if you haven't voted, vote now, because your choice tomorrow may determine who's going to represent you next spring.
But not a big turnout so far, despite the fact it's a presidential election year. Why is that, Brian?
It is a presidential election. Texas has an early primary, but we don't have a lot of candidates still vying for office. Biden's pretty much assured the Democratic nomination. Trump, after tomorrow, will very likely get the Republican nomination. Haley's still out there, but not really putting up a big challenge. That's what draws people out, competitive presidential primaries. We're just not seeing that.
We do have a few high-profile races, including the Travis County District Attorney's race. Two candidates trying to unseat Jose Garza. One is fellow Democrat Jeremy Celestine. And what are your thoughts about this particular race?
This is a race where the election tomorrow will decide who represents you, meaning the Republicans really aren't running anybody in the fall, and the district attorney race is starting to really get a lot of media attention and traction. And this is a race where anything could happen because with lower turnout, incumbency advantages kind of vanish. So this is a very important race because it's going to shape how criminal justice policy goes forward in Travis County for a few years.
So does the challenger have a chance of beating the incumbent here?
In this case, he does, because a lot of Texans have problems in Austin with the incumbent Garza, and we're seeing a lot of money being spent. So we're seeing a lot of ads, a lot of road signs for the challengers. So this could be the race to watch tomorrow night.
Yeah, and the race to face another high-profile race, the race to face Ted Cruz is another one a lot of us are watching. Tomorrow we'll decide if U.S. Representative Colin Allred or State Senator Roland Gutierrez will battle Cruz in November. Who has the better shot, Brian?
Right now, Allred has the better shot, but the big thing for the Texas Democrats is there's a lot of candidates running. So the question is, will Allred actually win tomorrow, or will he have to go to a runoff? And once you go to a runoff, anything can happen. Different electorate, lower turnout, but Allred's race to lose still.
All right. And so another important race, the mayoral race here in Austin. Why are we not seeing that in the primaries?
Well, that's because it's a nonpartisan race, and the primaries are designed for the parties to pick their fall candidates. What we'll see for the mayor's race, all the candidates on one ballot, nonpartisan, anything can happen. But what we are also seeing is that race heating up. We just heard City of Austin has a budget deficit problem, and so we'll get a lot of challengers. It could be very interesting.
Of course, you'll be voting tomorrow.
I vote on Election Day.
There you go. Brian Smith, St. Edwards Professor of Political Science. Always nice to have you on and get your thoughts.
Love to be here.
We appreciate your time.